For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Another two families over in Vieux are in pain, are in shock, and they are grieving. This is following the fatal shooting of two men, Thomas Louisy, 66 of Bridge Street in Vieux, and Jimmy Emmanuel, 44 of Bacadier. Hasn't Vieux gone through enough? I am saying this to the criminal elements in that part of St. Lucia, and I'm saying this as well to law enforcement personnel on the island, including the police commissioner. I am saying this as well and asking the question to the MP for Vieux South, Dr. Kenny Anthony, and I'm also asking the same question of the National Security Minister, Minister for Home Affairs, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the Cabinet, and also I'm asking the same question to you, the people of St. Lucia, and the residents of Vieux. So let's go through that story in its entirety. Let us provide you with some more information. And I'm reading from a piece on the website of Loop St. Lucia, and the piece is written by Kingsley Emmanuel. I think it's based in the southern part of the island. Death of two men in the community in a drive-by shooting. And it reads, the bloodletting in Vieux continued last evening following the death of two men in the community in a drive-by shooting. The incident occurred at about 9 p.m. on Bridge Street. The victims are Thomas Louisy, a.k.a. Arms, 66 of Bridge Street, and Jimmy Emmanuel, 44 of Bacadier. Louis was shot on his balcony, while Emmanuel, a bystander, was shot while standing on the road not too far from Louis. The piece continues. According to a family member of Thomas Louis, he was sitting on his balcony eating cornflakes when he was shot. It is hurting us. The family member grieved. They just came and sprayed him, the family member said, adding that they heard a few gunshots ring out. According to the family member, Louis, who had just retired from teaching, was enjoying his retirement. He was not in trouble with anyone, the family member said. Louis taught at the Entrepot Secondary School and the Vieux Comprehensive School and recently taught an electricity course for the National Enrichment and Learning Unit, NELU. The heartbroken family member said last Friday there was another drive-by shooting in the area when gunmen fired shots in the direction of the house where Louis lived in the presence of children. The children were enjoying themselves on the balcony drinking their little wine and beers, the family member said. They did it the first time and came back again, the family member said. A family member of Emmanuel who noted that he was mentally challenged described their loved one as a very helpful individual who shared pleasantries with everyone. He would always tell you nice things and always willing to help anyone for a little payment, the family member told Loop News. The family member called on residents of Vieux to stop the war in the community, adding that their loved one did not deserve to die in such a manner. What a request that is being made of those criminal elements in Vieux, as if they are bound to listen, as if they have a conscience. They don't. That's why they're acting that way in the first place. And when people do not act on their good consciences, what do you think should happen? That's where the state should step in. Because as a result of you being of a particular disposition, you have a predilection to engage in criminal acts and violence. Somebody should control you. Someone should intervene on behalf of the majority, who are law-abiding citizens. Now, what do you think of St. Lucia right now? And I do not aim to put my country down. I think most of us love St. Lucia. There are other people who are using St. Lucia to enrich themselves, to make themselves prominent and important. But in the main, I think most of us love our country. But what do you think about St. Lucia? St. Lucia right now is nothing but a failed state. And I'll repeat, St. Lucia right now is nothing short of being a failed state. Because too many things are going wrong in this country, and we're not giving any iota of evidence or demonstrating any iota of evidence that it will be pitted down anytime soon. It will be brought on under some level of control. So chaos, therefore, is reigning in our otherwise beautiful country. Beautiful in terms of the scenery, picturesque nation, but a nation clearly that is out of control and a country that is not being governed at this time. Not even being governed properly. It is a country that is not being governed. And St. Lucia is in a mess. Never mind what some people tell you. Let's look at the glass half full. How can you be optimistic in this current situation? This picture that we're painting right now of chaos. And that is a reality. Unless if you're existing in a particular world that is being described in George Orwell's 1984 book, where a false impression has been given. So in that book, you have various ministries, including a ministry of plenty. A ministry of plenty, where it is a particular individual's role to come to you and to say that we have reduced unemployment by so many percent or percentage points. Look at the glass half full. And we're recording gains in this area and in that particular area. And we have gotten so many millions of dollars to inject into a particular initiative or a particular program. That's the responsibility of the ministry of plenty, creating a false impression. When you, the individual who is watching this broadcast, in the Mang, in Bacadere, in Vieux, in Ancillary, in Canaries, in Miku, in Fouacho, in Marsha, in Dennery, in Miku again, and in Babonneau, you know better because you're unemployed. But yet still, somebody taking on the role of the minister with responsibility for plenty will tell you that everything is okay. It is not okay. We are in a shambles. Our police force, for once, I can tell you, our police force is in a mess, and a lot of our police officers, they cannot be trusted. And on NewsSpin, we deal basically on the evidence. If somebody can say, I receive files and files of information from the police, and he's an influential individual, it's a government minister who can say that, then what more evidence do you want? And when so-called ordinary people would call this broadcast and say, I do not trust the police, normally they'd ask, how can you say that? And they would tell me, man, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, I don't know. I never knew, not until recently. So we have the Impacs report, and up to now, government after government cannot deal with the contents of that report, or it's a case where the DPP also is stymied somewhat, inhibited by a number of factors, cannot act. You also have a situation where the alleged extrajudicial killings which occurred, the relatives, what is happening to those people? Because for many of us, those killings which occurred between 2010 and 2011, those are just memories. And from time to time, we might remember those victims. But the relatives, for them, is a constant reminder. Birthdays, maybe they might see some clothing, articles of clothing in their home belonging to the victims, the children, grandchildren, etc. So it is something that they are continuing to live with on a daily basis. Now, where does that put our government? Everything I've presented to you right now. Our government ministers, they're still pretending as if everything is okay because they are in La La Land, including our Prime Minister, who says he would like to thank the people of St. Lucia for accepting the 12.5%, the 2.5% levy that was placed on them, the so-called health and security levy. Basically, VAT being at 15% right now. So the fact that you're quiet, you have acquiesced, and you're not making any noise, the Prime Minister has read into this that you're accepting this 2.5% levy, further burden when you have not received an increase in your salary. You are still hoping that the government will come through for you with regard to a livable wage. But the Prime Minister says, you have accepted it. So maybe you have accepted it. And this is outside of any survey, any thorough scientific investigation. Again, things are really not okay in St. Lucia. And on the horizon, do you get the impression that things are going to improve for the better any time soon? Kimani, good afternoon to you. What's happening in the news in the chat room? And of course, let me open the lines so that you can call at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. I think the island is at about maybe 70 or 71, the number of homicides so far for this year.
Good afternoon, Tim. In the chat room, we have someone saying, PJP's mouth is moving faster than his brain. He says things before thinking. Another comment, Tim, the minister with all the files from the police. Maybe the minister responsible for the police. Who knows? Another comment, the police have no force. Someone says, failed PM, failed state. Someone is asking, children drinking wine and beers. I did raise a brow as well when you said that, Tim.
I think what they meant maybe young people, because I mean, for people who have children, I mean, if young adults, sorry, if you are, let's say, you are in your 50s or 60s, and someone, you know, your people are 20 odd years. My children, the children were drinking beers, you know, say to my you know. Go ahead.
Another comment in the chat room. This is so unfortunate. There seems to be no end to this. Someone says, you work so hard to retire and you haven't even enjoyed your retirement. So sad. And we have a lot of persons saying that they love your shit, Tim.
Oh, thank you, everyone.
Let's see. Tim, not just the victims have bad memories. Who knows who's seen the ghosts? Another comment in the chat room. There are more taxes in PJP's pipeline on the way. Another comment. We as a people still sit and hope that our Minister of National Security, whose father was a policeman but not him, to do something when he doesn't have a clue what to do. This is insanity because we keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
So I made reference to George Orwell earlier on, and somebody just sent me a quote. A people who elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves, and traitors are not victims, but accomplices. So says George Orwell. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. That's 716-2026. We have a call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Tim, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Je vais faire une contribution à Creole l'après-midi.
Oui, Nakuto.
Parce que nous avons dit dans ces Creole. Tim, ni encore, à les journal, il y a des gens qui sont morts. Now, nous pièces passage qui me dit innocent, parce que nous juste dans les journal des gens morts. Bon, moi, je voulais faire un point. Parce que situation ça là qui a dans le pays, ça pas qu'on regarde avec ça pour bon. Là où vous voulez dire, moun ka mort en dans le pays tous les jours par yon, par deux, par trois. Avec il difficile pour joindre yon commune. La même mouna qui ouest comme ça pour sécurité nationale. Mouna qui n'y a responsabilité pour protéger citoyen pays. Il est difficile pour un premier ministre qui prend charge pour sécurité nationale faire un statement avec une commission d'or là qui très wed avec fait ces moun ça c'est pas Hollywood yo. Vous comprenez moi? Ça c'est la vie moun qui ka peine avec yo pas ka joindre la vie ça juste attendre Jésus-Christ venir. Vous comprenez? Ça pas blague qui ka là dans le pays. Ou pas ça ni quantité crime ka prend pas à dans le pays. Avec ou pas qu'attendre yon membre gouvernement en partisan qui gagne là, qu'a fait yon statement yon pour l'autre. Dit nous pas tolérer quelque bagaille ça là. Vous comprenez moi?
You ka fait statement ou ça, mais c'est excuse. You ka fait un chat excuse.
Oui. Avec sous garder yo pour promettre touristes. Mais non promote touristes. On est tout ça crime capable pour dans petit pays comme ça. Un vieux petit pays qui a tué 2 fois dans Martinique. Ou peut nous sans crime comme ça dans pays exoré dernier monde silence parce que si yo parler yo kay pile les orteils parti yo qui un gouvernement. So yo dernier monde était pour expect c'est moun qui a fait crime kay waboter à sous crime kay de pas pour yo. Nous pas ça continuer. Et ça, c'est bagaille qui est sérieux. Nous pas ça continuer à dire, là, nous, ces gens qui civilisent, nous pas engager dans la situation de criminalité. Pour qu'on continue pour vivre dans un pays qui laisse, qui pas ni pièce conduite. Pièce conduite, c'est pas ni conduite. Manger mon pays, tout ça, on fait, on va échapper avec. Tout bagaille, ça, on va nous investiguer. Mais un bout d'investigation, pas qu'attendre pièce sans payer pour ces qualités, mais c'est bagaille ça là, dans le pays ça là, ça pas qu'on regarde. Nous pas ça continuer comme ça, jour après jour. On y a sur NewsSpin qui a reporté 2 morts là, 3 morts là. À cause de ça, juste sans blague. Et quand nous finissons avec ça, même police, si gouvernement qui est en charge pour la sécurité nationale, refusé pour ça, police supposé point ça à sous la main, franchement. Avec forget about mouna qui couille comme ministre pour la sécurité nationale parce que monsieur pas faire pièce sans ça. Moi ça lance dit monsieur là Dieu premier ministre là Dieu pour ou pas même vote pour premier ministre au pays ou juste en opposition comme ça. Avec ça fait moi changer un statement. Même parlement souffouille dernièrement Harold Sanis Stéphane caille parlement. Il dit si on nomme pas ça pour yon commune, il a combien pour 30 l'année, il passe à mettre il passe à manger. Est-ce qu'on peut prendre yon pays qui n'y a yon 180 000 moun, la Dieu la met avec 10 pour conduire yo. Avec les paroles ça a été dit au parlement, moi ou t'es changé ça comment t'es?
Oui, moi changé.
Les paroles ça a été dit, on cherche moun pour en faire, si vous pas d'accord, mais si vous regardez ça, mi réalité à la journée, mouna qui a gouverné a juste pas ça gouverner pays, il pas ça gouverner pièce de portfolio avec qui laisse qui a payé pour ça, citoyen simplifié qui l'a capé, c'est ça. Tout le monde ça l'a concerné, c'est l'argent. Tout bagage ou pas à besoin il a pris 2.5% del fund security levy qui a remercié moun qui supporté tout partout on dit dans ça. Simplifié tout on pas nous voir on dit dans ça. Ou pas nous voir toute cette question, ou pas nous voir pas même tout membres sympathisants là qui supportent dette ça là ouais mettre en l'air 2,7% ça. De ça sont on taxe ou mettre là on va tirer. Moun pas abou pièce son pas nègement pour pas ça. Ça sont va tout implémenter le tête pays ou quoi trouver l'argent ou quoi serrer le pays pour quoi prendre l'argent là pour ça bagaille ouais c'est moun pas ça à fond. Pour ça payer qualité dette ça ou pas mal koyo avec vous kay descend a dit dans l'histoire a dit dans cette liste moi même pas jamais été c'est ton premier ministre quand même maté jamais ça a dit dans mais comme c'est ou te leader pour opposition t'as passé yo ba au premier ministre ou bien élection ba oui mais juste toujours ou pas vle à prendre à sous toi ou jusqu'au nom pas vle répondre mon a besoin philosophe mais seul ça moi ka dit la qui après-midi à toute long code ni boutio. Ni un bon après-midi, monsieur Connect, ni un bon semaine.
Ou aussi, merci tellement pour couiller. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. WhatsApp message. Tim, hearing you say Senusha is now a failed state just brought tears to my eyes. When I left home 20 years ago, I was so proud of my island and people. Now it seems like my homeland is under siege. Another WhatsApp message. Let me see what is being said there. Somebody says, greetings coming from Hawaii. And the Prime Minister of St. Lucia needs to stop focusing on things that's unnecessary. The crime rate is crazy. Let's see if we have some more of your messages while we continue to await your calls. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says, indirect tax to be implemented soon. Parking meters. And another WhatsApp message. My heart bleeds for my country. Total lawlessness. These criminal elements have absolutely no boundaries. The MP for the constituency is mum. Sad state of affairs. what do you expect to happen? People will engage in practices where the environment is fertile for this to happen. You will do whatever you can do, whether it's legal or otherwise, if you believe that you can get away with it. That is exactly what is unfortunately happening in St. Lucia right now. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And somebody says that, Tim, I'm so upset, ashamed, and pissed off. Tim, R.I.P. to Ohms because of this teacher. Many of us are electricians and engineers today. Tim, I'm just lost for words. What is in the chat room? Any more comments, Kimani? We're waiting your calls. Once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026.
Someone says that Creole is rolling like a hot dumpling in Tim's mouth.
When I said what? Messi to Bonma?
Oh, I guess.
Okay.
Another comment, Tim, Philip JP and his entire Labour government elites and supporters are aiding and abetting the criminal activities and the breakdown of this country because they are not addressing the issues of the country. Another comment, St. Lucians must learn with the kind of people they vote for, the kind of people they choose to put in our parliament to lead our country. Someone says PJP should be slamming his fist about crime the same way he did for Norbert every day, every day. Another comment, St. Lucia is becoming a cesspool of lawlessness. We need an intervention. Someone else says, caller, when it's alleged that politicians, businessmen and police officers are suspects in such investigations, what should we expect? I've made up my mind. The Impacs report is a distraction. For a file that has no legal standing, too many people are talking about it, and it's a document of hearsay. Someone says, I agree with George Orwell. That's why they collaborated to bring the institution to its knees. And someone is declaring, I have not accepted the 2.5% VAT. Things are very hard in St. Lucia, and the Prime Minister is only making fun of St. Lucians. Tim, this was a retaliation drive-by just like the last one the week before. It's sad those two are the ones who were killed, innocent people, as a result of carelessness and foolish people not thinking of their life and the effects on people in the communities. Why can't we see their actions are detrimental to us, their parents? Another comment, when your plans are to see for yourself and your pockets, bank account, not the people of St. Lucia, this is what happens. The criminals heard Pierre say that the cup is half full, so they are drinking the other half. Another comment, a government team went to London and told St. Lucians all is well and dandy in St. Lucia. Insane. Someone is recommending that every St. Lucian should be fingerprinted so that to help solve crimes. Let's see what else we have in the chat room. I now call the Impacs report the Roro document. Is the answer to the crime situation in Vieux asking criminals for a truce? That's it, Tim.
Thank you so much. Still to come, what could happen next if the authorities do not do what is required of them? Not only in Vieux, but in St. Lucia as a whole in terms of policing our nation. You are watching the most monitored talk show in the world. It's NewsSpin. We are on the NewsSpin Facebook page, YouTube, and Power 97.9 FM.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilec averti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone ça là. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Kouye Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outils ou ka servi pas vini moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des war côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
And he's done it! He's done it! And my goodness, it's gone.
The party is back! Premier Sports Inc. presents the KFC SPL T20. Powered by the National Lotteries Authority. Will defending champions Choiseul Craft Masters retain their crown? Or will they be pulled down?
Oh, it's Dan Bruin! Perfect.
From October 13th to the 28th at the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds and Grosley Playing Field. Grab your tickets now. Sol Gas Station in Grosley, Amici Restaurant and Bar in Rodney Bay, Riverside Car Park in Castries, Soufre Foundation in Soufre, Monrepo, Choiseul, and Labrie Credit Union. Tickets are only $15 for adults, $5 for children. VIP $65 and $85. The party is back! The KFC SPL T20, powered by the National Lotteries Authority. Show them how to party.
Things are heating up at the National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited. We've got some red-hot deals just for you with 100% financing. Rev up for some excitement with our incredible vehicle loan offer. Building or renovating, we've got you covered. Or pack up for that ideal getaway. This offer won't be available forever. Visit us today and take advantage of this limited time deal. Don't miss out on these fantastic deals with 100% financing. Only at the National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited. We're your friend when you're in need.
The Ministry of Commerce, in collaboration with the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan, presents the 16th Annual St. Lucia, Taiwan Partnership Trade Show at the Pavilion on the ramp in Rodney Bay, Grosley, from Friday, November 3rd to Sunday, November 5th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. Come support the creativity of 69 local entrepreneurs and 16 Taiwanese businesses, including ICT and business solutions, food and beverage, and so much more. We will be hosting lots of fun games and activities for kids. Relax and enjoy the nightly live entertainment. Saturday features carefree karaoke with fantastic prizes up for grabs. Then on Sunday, we culminate in grand style with a strictly local fashion show and live comedy from Cook's Productions. Don't miss out. Free shuttle service provided from the Baywalk Shopping Mall and back. Come witness the emergence of our next generation of entrepreneurs.
So fast pay, a new and easy way to pay. So fast pay, so fast pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
So fast pay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. So fast pay, so fast pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy, We are your community med store.
Can't get a break from all this tax? Head to Automotive Art and get a taxcation. Automotive Art is offering you an ease from VAT and health and safety levy with savings of up to 15% and more. That's right, 15% of all tools, 15% of all accessories, 15% of car detailing, 15% of all rims, 15% of computerized wheel alignment, and 15% and more of selected tires with savings of up to 30% on some sizes. It's Automotive Art Taxcation. Visit us at Automotive Art at Vidbutey Castries and Latuni Vieux today and enjoy a taxcation. Offer valid for limited time. Some conditions apply. See stores for details.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. Sunday, November 26th. Sunburnt. It's coming.
To you around the world, either watching or listening to NewsSpin, the most monitored talk show in the world. And we have somebody who is watching over in Hawaii. Thank you so much for investing your time in the broadcast. More of your calls, 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. WhatsApp message, Tim, can you find out what is going on with the cul-de-sac and Millennium Highway roads for me, please? I have not seen anyone working on the road for about 2 weeks. And with the rain, these days the roads are getting worse. Are the authorities going to replace my suspension parts for me for that bad road? And I think we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Tim, it is sad what's going on in St. Lucia. I'm a mother and I'm afraid for my children and the rest of my family. Even you are not part of this criminal. You paid a price. So sad. Nobody is hiring anything from the minister for Vieux. Okay. Let's see there. Another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, good day. I may stand to be corrected, but I'm not blaming any politician for crime. I'm blaming the parents who create them monsters and want someone else to better them or find a solution to their children's demonic behavior. So I'll stop there from this WhatsApp message. The parents have a responsibility in terms of the upbringing of children so that those children can be law-abiding citizens, so that they can be productive members of the society. All right? They need to do that, yes. But where they have failed, the state must come in to protect the majority, the other people who are law-abiding citizens. The state has a responsibility to protect visitors to our shores because we go to North America, we travel to North America, and we promote St. Lucia as a beautiful country. We invite people to our shores, etc. And we need to ensure that when those people come to St. Lucia, they are safe. So on that occasion, it's not the responsibility of a parent who has already failed his or her son or daughter to impress upon that child to be a good boy and be a good girl and stop this violence and this crime. Yes. But the long and short of it is to quell it, to bring it under some level of control. The state, your permanent secretaries, your prime minister, your MPs, the police, they are all responsible. And of course, the rest of the society must step in as well. So I'm continuing with that WhatsApp message. I may stand to be corrected, but I'm not blaming any politician for crime. I'm blaming the parents who create their monsters and want someone else to better them or find a solution to the children's demonic behavior. Being a criminal doesn't start overnight. It starts at a child's tender age, the way in which they speak, body language, and interacting with you as a parent and their peers alike. We love to ask policemen to take the wheel when things have lost their shape. Look at Impacs. We as a nation, We have all the negative things to say about the police when Impact was to get rid of rotten apples in our midst. Yes, all lives matter. But the way this Impacts has tormented those police officers mentally, I think now the nation should deal with their thugs themselves, because no police officer will go out of their way to get rid of anyone in the name of the state. Mothers who know that their children are no good come on television, suck in their pride and expose their children because some of them are too hypocritical. Fight these demons yourselves, a concerned citizen. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. All right, I don't think we have any WhatsApp messages. But Kimani, you have some comments in the chat room. Remember, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Kimani.
Someone says, now it is the time for us to hear from Appa as an independent candidate. What is he going to do about the crimes happening in Vieux? Give us your input. Another comment, the rest of the associations that think they will destroy this country by staying quiet and not addressing the issues happening, only to keep Labour in power. Please let them know that God knows what's in their heads and hearts, and they better think twice, because they wouldn't want to feel God's wrath for allowing that amount of blood to flow through this country. Another comment, parents can give the best upbringing and these children will still do what they want. Someone says, Tim, it's so sad what's going on in St. Lucia. Me and my wife said that if SLP were to win the elections, we are moving out to St. Lucia. Now we are in the UK, never coming back as long as they are in power. This PM is nothing but a joke. That is it. But someone is asking, Tim, what about the barrel concessions?
I need to do some research on that. Right, so let us hear from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. The Prime Minister speaking yesterday at the unveiling of this UHC logo. There was a competition and the winner was announced at that ceremony yesterday. And he actually thanked you, applauded you, the people of St. Lucia, for endorsing his 2.5% levy, health and security levy.
The health and security levy will ensure that the incremental steps to universal health care will happen. And we have to fund it. And asking for 2.5% on imported goods without food, and ensuring also that we remove the VAT on medical equipment so doctors can buy better equipment for their offices. There's no VAT on medical equipment. So 2.5% levy, but we remove the VAT on medical equipment. So that is a compromise that we've met. And I'm sure that the majority of St. Lucians will understand that making an investment of 2.5% in their health and the health of the nation is not too much of a big sacrifice to ask them. And I want to thank the people who have contributed, who have understood, and the 2.5% levy has been accepted by the majority of people of this country, and they understand that there must be an investment in health for the well-being of the country.
So says the Prime Minister. So we have a reaction now from former government minister, former MP for Castries South East, Mr. Guy Joseph. His interpretation of the Prime Minister being in a position to thank you for imposing this 2.5% levy on the people of St. Lucia. Incidentally, he made an observation during the United Workers' Party's roundtable discussion on Impacts report and its effects on crime.
So what did the Prime Minister say today? He thanked St. Lucians for accepting the 2.5%. Did he carry out a survey to determine how many people are in agreement with the 2.5%? Now, I want St. Lucians to think very carefully. Here's why I believe the Prime Minister drew that conclusion of the 2.5. He brought fuel to unprecedented levels in price. St. Lucians accepted it.
Bus fares.
He brought up bus fares. He raised the price of bread, cooking gas. St. Lucians accepted it. What he has done, they brought in the Suppression Act. St. Lucians accepted it. He went to the CCJ without a referendum. people have not taken to the streets and caused chaos in this country. So he says that people accepted it. He has now brought in the 2.5%. And he is now saying, because people did not do anything, that's what I interpreted from what he was saying, that generally they have accepted it. We have to ask ourselves, what is the next thing the Prime Minister will bring in upon us? And if people do not speak and stand against it and will conclude, we have accepted it.
Deputy Political Leader of the Opposition United Workers' Party, Mr. Guy Joseph, speaking last evening during a round-table discussion that was organized by the UWP. Let's continue our discussion and let's include you. You can call 452-2979. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And of course, Kimani from time to time will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. So I have in my possession an ID card, also a Bank of St. Lucia ATM card, as well as a Marcy card belonging to a beautiful nurse. And her name is Alva Francis. So Alva Francis, you lost your purse somewhere in St. Lucia, and we have it in our possession with your bank card. We have, because I'm sure you want to withdraw some money in time for Journée Creole, we have your ID card, among other items. So we have it here at Power 97.9 FM. We are located at VG, just a few minutes away from the St. Lucia Red Cross. So you go in front of the Red Cross and you go up, and we are located on the left. So you will see the Power 97.9 logo, and you'll be able to retrieve your purse and whatever items that are in it. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes,
good
ma'am.
afternoon, Kimani.
Hi, good afternoon.
How you doing under the rain?
We are okay.
All right. Tim, the Prime Minister said that he removed the levy on the equipment for the doctors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to ask the Prime Minister, if he took out the levy, why did he take out the levy on the equipment for the doctors? Is it because the Dental and Medical Association supported him like we saw? They said nothing. They were in agreement with him through the election campaign.
I don't know why I call
I want to ask that question. And the next thing, he removed the levy on those equipments for the doctors, which are part of, I would say, the elites in society. But what is happening with, what is he doing rather, for the poor people that have to go and visit these doctors? Because I am sure, Tim, that 2.5% levy will come on the doctor's fee, the doctor's visit for the poor man. Again, Timothy, is still the same poor people that Philip Pierre doesn't care about that will be paying for these things, Tim. I just cannot understand the man, and the people, the poor people, they are sitting down there and they are not seeing these things. So you remove the VAT on the equipment coming in. These people can afford to pay their VAT prices. You're giving it to them free. And when we, the poor people, fall sick, right about now, a doctor visit, the last time was like, let's say, Tim, 150, if you have to go to a private doctor.
Mm-hmm.
With that 2.5 levy, we will have to pay about 160 to 165. And he's there boasting about it. The man doesn't care about the poor people of the country. And these are the things that poor people have to realize that is happening to them. Tim, another thing I want to mention, Dr. Kenny Anthony, I don't like to use doctor for that man for some reason, but let's just keep it so. Dr. Kenny Anthony, The last appearance he made on NBC show, he was speaking about Haiti and the gangs and the way Haiti ended up. It's like it's like a failing state, something like that. I think if you have the clip, you can play it. Timothy, Kenny Anthony just couldn't tell St. Lucians when I listened to that tape that we are in a position just like Haiti. Listen to the tape again, St. Lucians. But since he knew how to use his nice words, he's saying it in a way that you all will feel a little bit, I don't know, good. But Tim, listen to the man in that tape. Play it. Listen to him. He's telling St. Lucians directly that's where we are. And they are not doing anything about it, nor him, nor the people around him. What is wrong with our country, Timothy? Every day like that is a killing, a shooting the school children. And the writer who said about she is not blaming politicians. Tell her to get some wisdom. Yes, I know the parents. We have to do better than that. We have to do better than that. But we have to point our fingers to the politicians. Because right about now, we are not seeing this government making any improvement concerning the crime situation. And if we wanted to see these things, Philip Pierre, should have continued the security measures that the former government put in place for the people and the country. The canine dogs, the metal detector at the Slasper Customs. They turned their back on all these things, Timothy, protecting the borders. Why discontinue these things that were good for the country? Why? Timothy, this country is just frustrating, and the people of St. Lucia need to check themselves. Because we are on a path of no return if you see we don't check ourselves in that country. Have a good day, my love.
You too, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Here is what that could happen if the authorities do not arrest that crime problem that we have in our country right now. People will decide to take matters into their own hands. More people, including law-abiding citizens, will find the way, the means to have an illegal firearm in their possession. Can you imagine how some people are feeling over in Vieux right now? Whether they feel some kind of justification in arming themselves? And this is not what we're recommending. We'll never support this. But reality is reality. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Thanks. I want St. Lucians to be very careful. We say it, and it seems as if we suggest that we're aware, but our actions suggest that we are not as aware as we think we are. We talk about how each political party, how each color uses the populace around election time or while in opposition. And as soon as they get to the thing that they want, whether that be power or influence or financial gain, they kick the populace, they kick the electors to the curb and start taking care of themselves, their interests, their friends, their families, and their business partners. Each party seems to be doing the same thing. It's the same dance, regardless of who the person is leading the dance. It may look different, but the actions are the same. And so I want solutions to be careful that in the pressure that we're currently putting on the current administration, and rightfully so, because we're seeing significant issues with regard to the leadership, with regard to vision, with regard to ability to lead in this administration. But the same thing can be said for the past administration. and we can say that because more than half of the population agreed that they saw deficits in the last administration, which is why they voted them out of office. And now we're saying the very same things about the last administration. We're saying similar things to them. The same way the last administration acted in power, this administration has similar issues with their ability to lead. I want us to be very careful. Zora Neale Hurston, a renowned American writer and influencer of the civil rights movement, said, if you are silent about your pain, they will kill you and say you enjoyed it. And that's what we're seeing today. When a 2-year-old child was ripped apart by bullets in Vieux, we heard nary a word from our leaders. A few of them paid token lip service and did nothing. The representative for that constituency has traveled to Haiti and attempted to put peace in Haiti and deal with crime in Haiti, while his own constituency is drowning in crime. 2 people are dead today in his constituency while he's continuing to try to put peace somewhere else. Charity begins at home. The PM can say now that the populace agreed to the 2.5% levy because the populace has said nothing to suggest that they disagreed with it. If you are silent about your pain, they will kill you and say you enjoyed it. Think of the number of issues that have come up across the country. And because St. Lucians have said nary a thing except along political lines or except along lines of color, each party can say that you are enjoying or not enjoying based on the color scheme that you fall under. Whether it be the SLP or the UWP or whatever other party, until St. Lucians get to that point of knowing themselves where they will not stand for corruption, will not stand for foolishness, will not stand for mediocrity, will not stand for incompetence, regardless of who is in power and regardless of who they might have supported during the polls. Until St. Lucians get to that point and stop being cowards and stop being self-serving and stop being selfish, St. Lucians will continue to struggle and suffer. And each party will say that you enjoyed it while we killed you. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much. Somebody calling from the diaspora. Well said. I cannot agree with you more for the contribution that you made there and the gist of that contribution, the tenor of the contribution. We have a commentary. Let us hear from Mr. Jimmy Haynes.
Get up. Stand up. Speak up, St. Lucia. Let's be brutally honest with each other. Are we a coward, selfish, and heartless people? So far this year, there have been over 70 people slaughtered. Yes, slaughtered like animals at an abattoir in this country. Sadly, there has hardly been a whimper in anguish from us, the people. There has hardly been a cry of anger from us, the people. There has not been a clarion call to the authorities who we elected or those who were appointed on our behalf or to those who were employed on our behalf to maintain peace, security, safety, and law and order in this country by us, the people. Are we going to allow a few young miscreants to overrun and terrorize our fair Helen into a slaughterhouse? Are we going to continue to allow a few suits, gowns, and khakis to enjoy fat salaries and to wine and dine on the sweat, blood, and toil of our hardworking taxpayers while the carnage persists unaddressed on our streets? Are we going to continue to pay homage to incompetent, uncaring, self-serving and divisive politicians while the starving, debt-ridden, frustrated, no-hope citizens tear each other apart? St. Lucia, what kind of country have you become? St. Lucians, what kind of people have we become? We are the Helen of the West. We are the land of two Nobel laureates. We are the small island that two world powers, superpowers, the British and the French, fought 14 battles over. We are a small nation that gained independence from the great colonial Great Britain on February 22nd, 1979. We are a country of courageous freedom fighters and Negmaon like Flore Bois-Galliard. That is who we are. We are a country of great men like Sirs John Compton and Dunstan St. Omer, great women like Cécile Descartes and Dame Paulette Louisy, and the unforgettable heroes like your grandparents, my grandparents, your great-grandparents, my great-grandparents, the farmers, the fishermen, the teachers, the nurses, the firemen and policemen who once served their country with pride and dignity. That is who we are. We are not a people who cower and surrender in fear of reprisal from failing bully politicians, nor are we a people who grovel in worship and fear of the gun barrels of some lost, abandoned, psychotic, maniacal, drunken, doped gangbangers, nor their drug-dealing puppet masters. We must stand up and demand action and results from the highly paid and highly favored suits, gowns, and khakis. We must no longer accept their excuses. We must not fall to their divide and conquer tactics, which only serve to weaken our collective voice and dump our country further into depravity. And we must stand up to the few criminals to make them understand that this country belongs to us and that we've had enough of their bullshit. St. Lucia, the great nations that we look up to for shelter, progress, and prosperity, has shed blood to earn the status of being acknowledged as a great country. We too are a great nation because of the blood shed by our ancestors for the freedom that we are entitled to enjoy today. Please let us not permit a few incompetent and cowardly politicians and a few socially deviant kids to trade our freedom for their selfish gains. My deepest condolences and heartfelt prayers go out to the families of the deceased.
A commentary by Jimmy Haynes. I think we have a call online via WhatsApp. Let's see if we could put this call on the air at 716-2026, 716-2026. And remember, the other number to call is 452-2979, and that is 452-2979. Okay, we had a call coming in, so we have lost that call, but continue to call the broadcast. And hello to Nurse Alva Francis. Once again, Nurse Alva Francis, you lost your wallet or your purse. You lost your purse with your ID card, your Massey card, among others, your Bank of St. Lucia card. I have it in my possession right now. If you care to, visit our studios. If not, you can also call me at 716-2026 at the end of this broadcast so that you can retrieve your beautiful purse. All right, let's get this call on the air. This is NewsSpin. Good afternoon to you. Okay, the person is calling via WhatsApp, and the call is just not connecting. It's not our fault. So let's see if this call can be connected. No, it is not connecting. All right, some more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages and your discussions in the chat room in just a moment. We have a call, right? Do we have a call? No. And also, somebody will be asking, why not let the DPP proceed? All that and more still to come.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for Tooms. Call us in Vidboutet at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, Vieux, 454-6555.
Introducing the new LuSelect Virtual Service Desk, where one click is your access to every service. From My Account to Streetlight reports, requests for payment arrangements to settle arrears, change of name and address. Easy online forms give you access from anywhere and at any time. Every service you need at your fingertips. Go to our website, luselect.com, and click on the Virtual Service Desk widget. LuSelect's Virtual Service Desk. Every solution at your fingertips.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Things are heating up at the National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited. We've got some red-hot deals just for you with 100% financing. Rev up for some excitement with our incredible vehicle loan offer. Building or renovating, we've got you covered. Or pack up for that ideal getaway. This offer won't be available forever. Visit us today and take advantage of this limited time deal. Don't miss out on these fantastic deals with 100% financing. Only at the National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited. We're your friend when you're in need.
Fast Pay, a new and easy way to pay. Fast Pay, Fast Pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
Fast Pay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. Fast Pay, Fast Pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
And he's done it! He's done it! And my goodness, it's gone.
The party is back! Premier Sports Inc. presents the KFC SPL T20. Powered by the National Lotteries Authority. Will defending champions Choiseul Craft Masters retain their crown? Or will they be pulled down?
Oh, it's Perfection.
From October 13th to the 28th at the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds and Groseley Playing Field. Grab your tickets now. Sol Gas Station in Groseley, Amici Restaurant and Bar in Rodney Bay, Riverside Car Park in Castries, Soufre Foundation in Soufre, Monrepo, Choiseul, and Labrie Credit Union. Tickets are only $15 for adults, $5 for children. VIP $65 and $85. The party is back. The KFC SPL T20. Powered by the National Lotteries Authority. Show them how to party.
My mindset Lisi, écoutez, on Saturday, October 28th, Project Chocolat is the place to be for Fête Creole. Starting from 7 p.m., we're serving up Creole food so divine, you'll want seconds. Entertainment by the Wule Tete Solo Group, the ever electrified Extreme Band, DJ Rimo, and more. Tickets are $70 for adults over 18, inclusive of mouth-watering bakes, fish cakes, and rich cocoa tea. 13 to 18 years pay half price at the door. T-Moon, the little ones 12 years and under enter free. Tickets are available at the Cell Outlets Island-wide and Mambo's Bar in Soufre. Project Chocolat, we're celebrating St. Lucian heritage with delicious food, unforgettable fun, and true Lucian spirit. Fini celebrate Fête Creole avec nous at Project Chocolat. This event is endorsed by the FRC.
Can't get a break from all this tax? Head to Automotive Art and get a taxcation. Automotive Art is offering you an ease from VAT and health and safety levy with savings of up to 15% and more. That's right, 15% of all tools, 15% of all accessories, 15% of car detailing, 15% of all rims, 15% of computerized wheel alignment, and 15% and more of selected tires with savings of up to 30% on some sizes. It's Automotive Art Taxcation. Visit us at Automotive Art at Vidbutai Castries and Latuni Vieux today and enjoy a taxcation. Offer valid for limited time. Some conditions apply. See stores for details.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. Sunday, November 26th. Sunburnt. Sunburnt. It's coming.
You have a situation where the Labour Party accused Stevenson King and Richard Frederick of having a hit list and slaughtering St. Lucians. Yeah? When they came into the office to get retribution and justice, they never did it. They now went back into opposition. Every time that we were trying to take steps forward, they were challenging us. They're now back into office. So when the Prime Minister today says I did nothing, my belief is what he's saying is that there was no prosecutions in my tenure. But they could not be prosecutions because I'm not the person to make the decision. Now the difference is why it has become his baby and his cross is because it's my understanding that the DPP has advised the Commissioner of Police that he's ready to prosecute. You would think, after making all of those allegations,
they would welcome.
They would welcome that. But now Mary Frances put it well. She would love to be a fly on the wall in cabinet when that matter comes up with Richard and Steve in the cabinet. How are they going to come to the conclusion? And so the question becomes, it's a very important question. And that's what I want, if we were to assign homework to St. Lucians. Is it that for the expediency of politics that Philip Pierre has realized that Richard Frederick and Stevenson King have more value to him in politics than Kenny Anthony? Because Kenny Anthony is still out there saying that there was a hit list and people were innocently slaughtered. And the persons who were in charge of that program, orchestrating it, according to them, was Steve and Richard. The Labour Party made all these allegations about them. Steve and Richard are in the cabinet. The DPP is ready to go. And that's what I've been heard. I've not gotten any confirmation. We've asked the question repeatedly. Right? If the DPP is ready to go, why won't you let him proceed?
The leader of the opposition, leader of the United Workers' Party, speaking at the UWP roundtable last evening, Mr. Alan Shastney. Let's continue with your calls and discussion. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Somebody says, I disagree with the last caller who compared the last administration with the current one because the majority voted against them. He failed to mention the lies and deceit that fooled the electorate. What is in the chat room? Kimani.
Someone says, that's how we end up in our current state, by not being sensitive about things that are wrong and then a few years crying, how did we get here? Someone says... another comment in the chat room, very articulate, Jimmy. Let us stand up, protect our country. Together we are stronger. Another comment, majority of St. Lucians have always been docile. Caller, the majority of the voters don't talk about the deficit the people voted on party color and propaganda, that they were being fed. Another comment, caller, according to the Impacs report, politicians, crooked cops, and businessmen are the hardcore criminals. A YouTube comment, someone says the barrel concessions begin on November 1st. Another YouTube comment, sadly, Tim, I can't think of anything worthwhile of this nation presently. Someone says, we St. Lucians are just have talk and no action, so let's stand against this together. I don't really understand the PM's thinking. Who is advising him? I am at a loss. I believe the PM needs to first engage his mind before opening his mouth. Another comment, the PM mentioned equipment for doctors' offices, not for the hospitals and health centers, which are the government's responsibility. Very interesting. Let's see, the 2.5% levy is for the poorest of the poor. Another comment, PJP is correct because the poor people are not stating their dissatisfaction. And finally, someone says, Rise St. Lucia, no more peanut butter drive-bys.
Thank you so much, Kimani.
Tim, I didn't get that joke. Can you elaborate?
I didn't get it either. We will continue with your calls. I think we have a call right now via WhatsApp. Hello, and let's see if we can put this call on the air. Okay, we'll try again. Okay, this person keeps calling, and they have a problem with their WhatsApp because it is showing that the call is connecting. So you're not getting through. So, okay, let's see if we can get another call on the broadcast. Once again, this is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. Let's see if we have a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Hello.
Tim.
Yes, good afternoon to you, Rick.
Was that a poem that I heard a while ago?
A poem? No, we didn't have
Yeah.
any poem. No.
I saw that there was an accompanying picture of Mr. Haynes on it.
Oh, yeah, a commentary by Mr. Jimmy Haynes.
A commentary. Where was that delivered?
It has been being circulated via WhatsApp. You didn't get it? Many St. Lucians got it.
Maybe I did. Okay, you familiar with what he said there?
The commentary?
Yeah.
But it was a commentary about what's happening in St. Lucia, Rick. I don't know if you were listening to something else.
Well, that's what I'm listening to. I'm trying to familiarize myself with the characters he's talking about there. We're not a nation that cowers. We are this or that, our heroes. I didn't recognize that St. Lucia at all, did you?
Well, in terms of our history, he went back into time.
He went back into time.
Yeah. So can you speak on the modern day reality? What's happening right now, Rick?
No, well, what is happening right now is we're getting that kind of commentary. We're getting that kind of poetry. If Kimani bothers to read the reaction to it, I will give you a hint what he actually said. He said you're showing up there like you're Mr. King or something with all your this and that, and forget it. You dust to dust. We always dust to dust. So I wanted to make that point. Opera to hip hop audience. Very, very depressing, Tim. Very, very depressing. Because
very depressing for some of us, but not for all.
Well, some of us don't even understand what the hell he's talking about. And I also have a serious personal problem, and I don't want to sound too irreverent. Neither do I want to sound dismissive of Mr. Haynes' commentary, plus the fact he's entitled to love St. Lucia the way he wants to. Okay? So I'm not doing all that. I'm just facing that reality and today that you just asked me to do there. Tim, too many of us address an intellect that is not there. Too many of us address an intellect that has died. In between listening to you, I was reading some articles that I wrote over the years, citing a lot of George Odlum's beliefs and theories, and a lot of which have come true. But, George was not in writing or even commenting on Negmarons and those kind of things. George was always hitting what was happening right now, like his Belle speech and so on, like the parliamentary delivery when he was fired, at the time he was fired. And George was saying no party in St. Lucia can by itself even make a dent on crime. I'm paraphrasing him. And he named all the problems and all the tribulations we had been through leading up to those things. He talked about the cathedral killings. And when you compare, and that is the kind of history I'm in, the recent history. I'd prefer to talk about recent history than to talk about Negmaons. They have their place, okay? But when you think of the cathedral, when you think about the number of killings that happened in recent times, the shootings on National Day, the shooting today, horrors. I didn't know, for example, that Kenny Anthony had referred to the shootings, the Impact shootings, as the slaughtering of innocent citizens. Did you know that?
No, not until reference was made to it. And I
heard it being quoted last night.
Yes.
The slaughter of innocent citizens. Now, I would have preferred, well, citizens were slaughtered, and their innocence or otherwise really is quite irrelevant. But what a turnaround for Kenny Anthony to refer to the shootings, the killings at the time of the ORC as the slaughtering by the police of innocent citizens. You get the gravity of that?
Because
and you ask yourself,
he's already passing judgment.
And it's coming from, of all people, the guy who was in charge of who created the whole Impact thing, the Americans and so on and so on. And I can't help but get my mind right now to, so what happened to those innocent citizens who were slaughtered? We're supposed to just forget about them? I mean, it doesn't matter what they are. If they were slaughtered, and that is suggesting something very illegal, huh?
Yeah.
And we know, and we know very much that there has been no trial, no determination, a lawful determination of how those people were killed. Are we aware of that?
No.
That there has been
that is still pending.
Determination.
That is still
about
pending.
Those killings.
Mm-hmm.
Eh?
That is still pending.
It's still pending. And while Impact is a good thing for us to know the details of, which we don't anyway, although I thought last night it was enlightening, you would have thought that an opposite view from others would challenge that. I doubt very much that's going to happen. You're going to get a lot of mépris on that from opposite sides, but you're going to get a lot of who is cross and all that kind of stuff. But we will not get down to the bottom of that slaughtering of innocent citizens. And you would have thought the man who would use those kind of graphic words, slaughtering of innocent citizens, and is concerned about it, you would think that guy was on Mars when the slaughtering happened. He is determining there were slaughters, you know, Tim?
Yeah.
He is determined that they were innocent citizens. And he is the one who was prime minister around that time as well, or leader of the opposition, etc., etc. You think the man's a total stranger. And people like myself who will talk on that, well, what did you do then? Or if Alan Chasney, who is also responsible, because as well, whatever that responsibility might be, is also responsible. But nobody will call on him to account and ask official questions. They will just take a position on Alan Chasney. And the position will probably have nothing to do with what he talked about. Like that man who just is saying, I wish she would look for Kimani would look for the reaction to it. Basically telling that guy, you think you are king? That's because he seems to have some intellect. Dust to dust. Dismissing him. And so poems have their place, but the horror story of today cannot be told too graphically, because it seems to me We have become totally inured, totally used to the slaughtering of people, to the slaughtering of children. Tim, let me tell you something. A couple nights ago, when I agreed to come on your show,
News Make Alive.
you'd be surprised the number of calls I had from people telling me not to appear on the show.
What is the
You
reason?
know what their reasons were collectively? I want you to guess.
That it'll make the government look bad?
No. That I was putting my life at risk
Oh.
going to your studio to speak on. That's where we are. And the worst offenders, Tim, are the people you would think would be the greatest defenders, frontline defenders of justice, of what they think is right, would stand up against what they believe to be wrong. I'm not a judge. What if you believe a thing to be wrong, come out. We prefer to talk about comics. We prefer to talk about history, a long time history, ancient history that we have no evidence of. We ignore the recent history. We pretend that we have done our bit already and let others do it. They know damn well there is nobody else to do it. But they're not going to do it. And maybe they're afraid for their lives. That is what St. Lucia is today. People are afraid as cowards anyway. People are partisan. People don't want to hear any kind of lying truth or indifferent about their party, whether it's UWP or not. And people are afraid of getting killed. So that the people I keep calling the pigs with lipstick on, even they have gone quiet, you know, Tim.
Very.
So nobody is talking. So maybe we should all sit down and try to write poetry. Talk about poetry. Talk about, but don't talk about any reality. 2 people were shot last night.
Yeah.
Tim?
Yes, 2 people were shot last night in
Have we
Vieux.
heard in Vieux?
Yes.
How many were shot last week?
Last week, maybe I don't know. I'm not keeping count. Maybe another 2 or 3 last week.
You realize how inured we're becoming to people getting shot, and you notice that when it used to be, it's just young kids doing this, and you notice the age group is changing.
Yeah.
The victims are changing. So, you know, it is depressing, Tim. This is a beautiful country. But, boy, it contains some ugly, grotesque people. Its population is ugly inside and out. It's a population of cowards who are bent on making other people cowards, people who maybe have a little courage. They get calls to tell them, don't do this, don't do that, leave it alone. Boy, you're putting yourself at risk, as if we don't all die. But that's the mood. That is the mood. People are afraid of saying anything and having their mother's sexual history being made the order of the day. Nobody take your pictures and put there, and it's Kukun Mama. I can say it now almost without any bother because it has become the vernacular of the day. When you were growing up as a kid, that phrase would not even occur to you lest your parents read through your mind. Am I right?
Yeah, correct.
Today, Tim, you could sit on your show and talk about Kukun Mama like just language. Okay? On your show. Because it's done on a number of shows. And I use that, and it's very interesting also how the worst expletives in our country are female body parts. And you don't hear any of those females in position in whatever institution they hold or whatever. What are the different organizations they have here? Women. We have
Rise,
fall, ministers of government, female ministers, people in the party, If you close your eyes, you think they're men. And I suspect even when my eyes are open, they could be men because, you know, things that the world we're living in. But Tim, that is what is destroying the country. It's people, you know, Tim. It's people. We are cowards. We encourage the mediocrity. We encourage standards that we really don't really believe. But because we are such chickens with our tongues out, we will not speak out against it, and we will license it with our silence. I'm not perfect, baby. I'm not. As a matter of fact, I've told most people go to hell when it comes to talking about what my morality should be, because my morality is my own. But I'm not. I owe it to the country. I have a duty to the country not to break its laws, to obey its laws, to stand by its principles. All of that is gone. I am beginning to believe, well, again, I told you this before. James Baldwin says, if you want to gauge the quality of people of a country, you simply have to look at the people they elect to represent them. And I hasten to say, I am not referring necessarily to this government right now, because I was complaining about the quality of candidates or the quality of people we kept in office going back to the early 90s. The things we permitted in 1992 never should have been permitted. 1992. I wrote some things about John Compton in 1992. I'm going to call it out. That priests went on platforms on the pulpits to cuss me out. Yes. And Compton turned around and told Hugh Crosby of the BBC basically to F off when he tried to interview him.
That's 31 years ago.
Said, eh?
That's 31 years ago, Rick.
31 years ago. So for some 31 years, we've been preparing this shit house that we call home. We were given a great little island. Beautiful. It is still fairly beautiful. But instead of encouraging the most beauteous parts of it, we throw shit all over it. Pardon my expressions of those words, but those are the words I need to let you feel the passion I feel.
Now, Rick, hold on.
What we have done in this country...
Rick, hold on. What will it take to remedy the problem? Because, I mean, we are focusing...
A tsunami. It will take a natural disaster to wipe out most of us. That's what it will take on... That's what I believe. Because somebody asked me, do I think we're doomed? And I said, yes, we're doomed. And he said, but you cannot be a serious citizen and be going around with the idea that we are doomed. And I explained to him, by that I meant that we know the remedies that might help a little bit, but we will never take those remedies for multiplicity of reasons, Tim.
Yeah.
So we're doomed. If you will not take the medicine, like when people are given medicine for diabetes and they prefer to trust Guanabafé, they're going to die. They're going to die. So all those people who can't afford medicine, all those people who can't afford operations, and we know damn well most people in this country cannot afford operations, especially when they're older. But young people also need operations. Young people are also born with problems. Young people also get hurt, and they require particular attention. These are dead people, Tim, because we're doing nothing about it. Our talk is empty. Look at Facebook. Look at the nastiness in Facebook. Somebody said something on me on TV some time ago, which I'm used to, and I have my answers anyway as I listen. I always have my answers, and I don't have to even take any note of the mapui aspect of what's said about me. I can answer with facts, undeniable facts. But this gentleman, who is a former school principal, while I was being castigated on the TV, did not ask any questions. You know what he wrote? Because he had access to to me. He wrote, Rick, when I knew you were a skunk, but I didn't know that much. And it's not so much what he said that bothered me, but who he purports to be. This guy is supposed to be, have been a school principal. For all I know, he was a weird school principal, but I don't know the man. I just know him by reputation. But we have a lot of that in the country, Tim. Nobody is prepared. I said to Adam Shaston in a conversation not so long ago, why the hell do you want to be Prime Minister of St. Lucia? Why? I don't want to be Prime Minister of St. Lucia if it were handed to me. And all of us know St. Lucia is broke as hell, that St. Lucia cannot sustain itself, that we have to go from begging from one white man to another because the Africans ain't giving us. So while we purport to hate the white people, we know we have to go and beg them. We know we have to lower ourselves and be corrupt in their eyes, so they're looking at us as corrupt people. And when we take the whatever they're giving us, the CIP is in trouble. But nobody's talking about the CIP. And Kenny Anthony said in the House that he had his reservations. But Kenny Anthony always is parabolic. He's always talking in half terms. What was the reason Kenny had his reservations about the CIP? In other words, he saw certain things wrong with CIP.
And yet still he went ahead with it.
Why did he ignore those reservations? Why didn't he tell us about those reservations? And one of the biggest problems with CIP is the corruption and the under-the-table things that most of us suspect is going on. And a lot of articles have been written about it. Dominica is all kinds of problems, but they don't care about that. If the man builds a school over there and the school's over there, so what if he pockets the thing? Not so long ago, Tim, they were saying that about, you're old enough to remember that, about a particular Antigua government, that they're corrupt, but they take care of their people. I'm sure you remember that.
Yeah.
They're corrupt, but they take care of their people. And that's all. We don't care. We like people waiting for our parents to go and steal and rob and murder people just so long as they bring home a breadfruit.
Now, earlier on,
Rick,
Rick, you said that it would take a tsunami. I don't want to say that colonialism is the kind of thing that we should be endorsing and appreciating and so on and recommending. But I'll put it a different way. I think it will take nothing short of having a group of foreign nationals, let's say 12 people, take over the reins of St. Lucia with the permission of the citizenry at various levels, because they would be impartial and they would be coming into St. Lucia with a particular assignment, a particular set of responsibilities, and they would not be at all be stymied or influenced by connection to the people of St. Lucia, whether it's being blood relatives or friends, acquaintances, people went to school together, etc. That, to my mind, is what it will take over a 5 maybe to 10 year period to really start to remedy the problems that we are experiencing at this point in time in our country. That is how serious it is. That is how serious it is.
What you just said.
Beg your pardon? Beg your pardon?
I can't wait to address what you just said there.
Go ahead, Rick.
I would say, with my octogenarian eyes, that nobody would call you a white man, would they?
No, they can't.
Because you have your depth of blackness is fairly...
It's palpable.
Melanin darkness is very obvious, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't forget, I have been called too white to sit on programs dealing with emancipation. I've actually had callers call a show and say that. So what you just said there, Tim, as horrid as it sounds, it underscores the predicament we're in, that we have to go back to the white man. And we actually have to give consideration, at least consideration, which we should not have to do, to wonder, were we better off when we were under the colonial office? That is how bad things are. Everything the colonials left us, we have bastardized. We have bastardized the parliament. We accept things in that parliament that not even in Compton's time would that be accepted. We had Sinclair Daniel, and you know how tough that guy was running his house with all his faults.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to parliament, he went by the rules. We can't say that anymore. We have all kinds of rules bent on who is who.
Our police force, the state of our police force.
Every institution we've been given by the white man, because we have created no institutions. I think it is Naipaul who said nothing new has been created in the Caribbean. And some will say, well, a tin pan, the steel man. But I'm not going to that. I'm just telling you what Naipaul said. Nothing new has been. Okay. Most of the important things in this country, the laws, the police station, the parliament, the churches, all of those things were put there by the white people. And we have bastardized all of them. They mean nothing now. We have rendered them just shams. We don't trust the police, and we have good reason not to trust our police. We have good reason not to trust the combination of police and our politicians. That is a poisonous killer combination. And if you cannot have faith in your police and your government, you are a dead country. And more people will be taking the action by their own hands in the name of personal justice. We have brought ourselves there, Tim.
All right, Rick.
Oh, my God.
Thank you so much.
It's depressing.
Thank you so much.
Now I await them to find a flaw with what I just said there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. Well, we're just discussing the issues of relevance on this program, and we hope that it will resonate with the people of this country, because the reality is we are no longer on the verge of being a failed state. I think we have reached that point. We are a failed state, and we have to do whatever that is necessary as quickly as possible to turn this thing around. Otherwise, we will pay with our lives, as is quite evident in many parts of the island, unfortunately, including Vieux South. When will it end, and what as a people can we do to address those issues? As you heard earlier on, most, if not all of our institutions are either failing or continuing to fail us. I mean, you have to be very concerned about the state of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force right now. If you're not concerned about any other institution, but what is happening with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, the way it is being bastardized, the way it has been infiltrated, that should be cause for concern for all of us. Whatever you do, have yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend. Enjoy your Journée Creole, whether you're going to Soufrière, Canaries, or the Marbella Valley. We'll be back Galway on Monday afternoon, 12:30, with another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world, NewsSpin. Goodbye.